Welcome back. I'm Dan Salem with Phil and Bud, view from Section 323 podcast. We're your three-man booth going to talk the NFL. We're broadening away from New York sports because their football teams suck right now. How are you guys? I know we didn't enjoy our games this week, but good holiday.
I enjoyed my game for about three and a half quarters. I enjoyed it. I was up 19-3 by halftime, so I thought we were rolling.
We were tied going into halftime 10-10. I didn't see any of that happening. But in typical Jets fashion, they don't know how to play in the second half.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate because I feel like the Jets and Patriots are usually tied at halftime. So I wasn't overly optimistic about the result of that game. And that's been that football game was the epitome of the Giants season in like one small package. They just keep giving you enough.
Saquon Barkley only get 4 touches in the second half.
It made no sense. I'm keeping it PG here. It made absolutely no sense. Barkley had 100 yards rushing the first half. They're up 19-3. Yeah, Eli throws that pick at halftime, which at that time you're like, all right, that might come back to bite us. It might not. Obviously, it did because that was the whole reason they lost the game by 3. If you want to go back and you want to complain about the 2-point conversion, I get it. It was the very first quarter. You had a penalty, so instead of a 2-point conversion starts at the 2, they got it at the 1. The play calling was wrong. They should have just ran the ball with Barkley. And if you look, they had, I think it was Red Ellison out in the end zone wide open. He just missed them. So you want to complain about that? I guess so. I'm really not even going to get into the missed calls because there were some holding calls. There was one on Barkley. There was one on Beckham that were obvious pass interference calls that weren't called. But when you're a 3-win football team, you're not going to get those kind of calls.
Yeah. And you're playing the defending Super Bowl champions, so that's –
Well, I don't think that holds as much cachet as it normally does because the Eagles are 4-7 as it is right now too. So yeah, they're defending champs, but they're not playing like it either. And I don't think they're not going to win the division anyway.
No. So it's interesting, right? Because you have a rookie head coach. Or rookie, first year, right?
First year.
He's coached before, but he has completely mismanaged his offensive weapons. Like Barkley, this might be the best season of his career because he's the freshest, he's young, he's a rookie, and he's fearless. OBJ just signed on to this new deal, so like use him. Sterling Shepard is actually really good, and Manning can still throw. The Jets have terrible play calling, but the Giants, like, they actually have weapons, and they're not – I don't know what's going on there.
They didn't take advantage of a really weak secondary of the Eagles.
There was no secondary. They were on their 5th cornerback.
I get it, dude. Trust me, I'm a Jets fan. I get it. The Jets ran the ball 15 times for 35 yards, whatever it was.
They threw it 50 times.
Against a team that 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, and we saw what Tennessee was last night, 2 weeks ago against Tennessee, ran whatever they wanted. So it goes on the flip side, too. Quincy Enunwa had 4 catches for 80 yards in the first half and then didn't get a look in the second half. He is by far your best offensive player. And he's not even getting a nothing.
So all of this just like this speaks to our team's tanking, right? Because they're doing the opposite of what they should be doing.
I say this every week. You don't get SNY, and I put on SNY like a dumbass, like I always do. I gotta listen to Todd Bowles say, "Well, I thought Jeremy Bates called a good game."
I read the quotes.
Are you? You're kidding, right? This guy is literally just get on a bus, go through the Lincoln Tunnel, and go back home.
So this is the only thing. This is the only thing I can figure, right? Because the Jaguars fired the offensive coordinator and benched Bortles this week. And they're just as bad as the Jets and the Giants. But I think the Jets, to their coaching staff's credit, because they're all getting fired, they're maintaining stability around their rookie, despite the fact that they could have easily fired a bunch of coaches already, and they were willing, like they should have been fired.
The rookie's not even playing, though, Dan. So this
but
isn't about the rookie anymore, because if I got to watch Josh McCown throw 50 times again, I might pull my eyeballs out. He's awful. If I got to watch a 39-year-old quarterback run around like a chicken with his head cut off all the time, put in Davis Webb. And I know Phil will fight me all over. He's not that good, and everyone else passed on him and whatever. Anything is better than what we're watching right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exciting. So the Giants also have a 39-year-old quarterback or whatever age he is who wants to play. He's not doing much better.
Beckham came out. I think we all saw Beckham's quotes about, going against the quarterbacks wasn't in the game plan. And then Shermer came out and was like, well, that's just his opinion. Well, who's really telling the truth here? Because it looked to all of us that they did not have that in the game plan.
Right. So neither of our teams exploited their opponent's weakness. Because
obvious weakness, yeah.
Right. So the only thing I can figure is that they're tanking. I don't know why the Jets coaching staff would be on board with that because they're getting fired. I understand why Pat Shermer.
The Giants had a mathematical chance of winning the division still. So it looks like from the surface, it looks like they played two different halves. They played a half where they were dominant in the first half, and then they scored 3 points in the entire second half. 3. Not 3. There you go. That was 6. 3 points. 1 field goal. Whoop-de-doo.
Jets did the same thing. You go into halftime 10-10 against New England. But this is typical Jets, right? They give you a glimmer of hope, and then they just poo-poo it immediately.
How about the fact when they declined the penalty and brought up 3rd and 12 instead of 4th and 2? I knew they were scoring. I knew it. You
can't double team Gronkowski. First off, if I got to watch Maurice Claiborne jog after Edelman one more time, not even keep up with him. He's literally that one that he caught that he went for like 40 yards. He was jogging. Well, if you don't want to play, you want to quit. That's fine. Get off the field.
I know.
And just save us the aggravation because there's somebody who will come out and try.
Well, maybe it was tough to tell as kids, but it's very obvious to me now. Like, once you reach the halfway point of these NFL season, half these teams, these players are playing not to get hurt because they don't want to end their career on like this sour note. Like these guys, Claiborne, I don't know his contract situation, but he's playing not to get hurt right now so he can keep playing from hopefully a better team next year. And this is like 50% of the league every year. They're literally playing not to get hurt. And I don't know, there's no real solution to this problem, but when your team's completely out of it, this is a tough situation for these guys because this is their livelihood. Like, it's not like they're just playing for fun.
That's interesting. I never actually looked at it that way, but now I'm going to actually pay attention to that because you could have something with that. You're right. You're right. And what do we say? But when you don't play 100%, that's when you get hurt.
Every time.
It doesn't benefit any of these guys to play, half speeds. That's why the preseason is a joke. These guys are obviously playing not to get hurt, and that's where all the injuries happen.
Yeah. Well, and so I really commended Josh McCown because he was like running and gutting for yards. He wasn't sliding. He was diving for first downs. He had nothing why? But that was like – so I liked seeing that from somebody like him. He's just such a great leader. I'm pulling a little silver linings out of this game because it was awful. I mean – his stat line
wasn't bad at all. You said they threw a bunch. He had 200-something yards, a touchdown, and a pick, but it's not like he was dreadful.
No.
It's funny. It was Brady, Gronk, and Edelman, the 3 guys who have beaten the Jets for the last 10 years.
Sonny Michel ran all over. He had 108. They had 180 yards rushing, with like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Thank God, because that covered. I was selfishly rooting for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Say it was the lack of a run defense, which the Jets did have in September, that they lost along the way somehow.
They just lost all confidence. They lost just the desire to even play. It looks like. I mean, we have this conversation every week. It just looks like you get to a certain point and then they just stop playing. They just quit.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is that, and a lot of it is that this coaching staff just puts them in the wrong positions to try to succeed. You don't even change the game plan. You go into halftime tied 10-10, and it's nothing. And every time, like the Jets got the field goal, right? 4 plays later, New England scores a touchdown.
Yeah, right down the field.
Edelman catches the ball, and the defenders are standing on the goal line watching him run another 12 yards.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to step up and make a tackle?
I almost feel like Todd Bowles almost looks like he doesn't want to be there either. I don't know when it turned for him, but like, how do you not make halftime adjustments? I mean, I'm sure he claimed to make them, but the one game he looked inspired was when he was forced to coach the defense because he was going back to his roots, and they won.
And by the way, those 2 games that he did, they won.
Yeah. He likes coaching like the defense. I mean, I think he'll get picked up as a defensive coordinator somewhere else and shine, but he needs a break from head coaching. And Jeremy Bates, I think he spent too long on the mountainside because he just looks lost.
It's not a good situation.
So one more thought on our team. So Phil, I got to ask you, because is there gonna be any changes to the Giants coaching staff? I do think that they probably have to make a change.
I don't think so. No, I'm gonna go. No, my gut is no, because all these guys are all first year. You know, McAdoo was the difference. He had to go. I mean, that was just toxic. He absolutely had to go.
Yeah. So
I feel like I think even Gettleman said you can't turn a team around in one season, and we all had these stupid expectations that revamp the offensive line and get all these weapons, and Barkley's as good as advertised, but we all had this fantasy that it was going to get changed in one offseason. It doesn't happen that way in football.
Well, I mean, it does happen every year for at least one or two teams, and we were hoping.
But it wasn't. But at least those teams have the pieces, the foundation in place. We didn't even have a foundation.
So on paper, the Giants had the veteran quarterback, star running back, and a star receiver. Now they don't have the
offensive line.
Well, you don't know how that's going to happen until they play. They picked up the star offensive lineman from the Patriots. So on paper, there was reason for the optimism. The reason I brought that up is because the Jets players are all backing their coaching staff when they have no reason to. It's kind of commendable. Whereas the Giants, OBJ every week is speaking out against his coach's play calling every single week. This is the face of your franchise speaking out against the coaches, the way they're coaching the games.
Is he wrong, though? Is he wrong?
Well, he's not wrong, which is why I'm wondering if the offensive coordinator is going to get the boot.
All right. So maybe one of those guys, but I think Shermer stays. I don't think that.
Shermer will get another year or two. He's going to get at least one more season. McAdoo that too. He'll get another year or two. But
McAdoo he luckily got through. They won 11 games that first year, but they weren't. If you want to go back in history, they weren't winning those games by 20 points apiece. They were winning that games by like 3 points. So
and the first year of every head coach's tenure is the last guy's team. So Bowles had a great season the first year. It was the last. It was the leftovers from what's his face's team, like Rick. Right. So it's pretty.
Right. He inherited a dumpster fire. Shermer inherited a dumpster fire, literally.
Yeah.
So
all right. So
maybe you're right. Maybe it'll be an offensive coordinator. Maybe it'll be a special teams somebody of non-importance. Maybe you're right, just to prove a point that they're trying.
I think they got to switch something up. But. I don't know.
The funny thing
I want
is,
to talk playoffs now. So if you guys got final thoughts on the Giants, go ahead. But then I want to talk playoffs because
I was just going to say that the funny thing is, technically, they're not mathematically eliminated from the division yet because Dallas is not beating the Saints this week. So you can put that on paper right now. I guess I'm rooting for the Eagles to beat the Redskins this week on Monday Night Football because that's what I'm rooting for. I mean, the pieces were in place. Dallas beat Washington, which I think we all easily predicted. It's not. Obviously it's not going to happen.
So,
but technically, they're not mathematics. So when do you put in Loletta? That's the question.
So I ran through the numbers because the Giants didn't have to win every game to win the division. They can win it at 8-8, and they just need a lot of losses from their divisional rivals,
which are coming because the Cowboys haven't even played their hard games yet.
And the Eagles and Redskins play each other twice. So
how long until you think we see Mark Sanchez?
Where?
Oh.
Where?
No, where is Sanchez?
Where's he playing, dude?
I don't remember. That's why I'm asking. I asked. In Washington.
Back up in Washington.
I forgot.
Awful.
I think if Mark Sanchez is prepared, they'll give Colt McCoy a quarter. They're not going to give him much more than that because anybody should be able to shred that Eagles secondary. Hell, Eli Manning did it for a half, and he's almost retired. So I think.
I know Bud's really rooting for Sanchez. I know he is.
I am.
I would like to see him have a reclamation project, lead his team to something.
He did well with Philly too.
Yeah, he did.
But whatever.
So you brought up the Saints Cowboys. The funny thing is, my brother is quoting these stats. Home teams on Thursday Night Football are like unbelievable with the wins versus losses. I think. So he said they're 9-4-1 against the spread this season, is what I'm remembering. So they're great against the spread. Now, obviously, the spread's pretty large in this case.
It's only 7.5.
Oh, okay. So that's 10 because of the Dallas's home. But
no, I thought the Saints are home. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't remember.
Oh, I thought that the point. Maybe I misinterpreted his point. I thought his point was that Dallas was home. So
let me look. Tell you in a second.
No, I'm not suggesting the Saints are going to lose.
Stand a chance.
No, they don't have enough defense. I'm not suggesting they're going to keep up with them.
You're right.
I'm not sure it's going to be a blowout because it's a short week. I guess it's not a short week for either of those teams. They played last Thursday. All right.
New Orleans beat Atlanta by 14 points, and it wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't even not even close.
Pickup of the fantasy week for me was the Saints defense. Oh, it won me the week.
So funny story. So I have Pat Mahomes. He's on a bye, right? So when I traded last week, and I got Baker Mayfield. The rich get richer, apparently.
Yeah, excellent. So how's that Evan Ingram deal working out for you?
So right now Evan Ingram's on the bench, but I picked up Cameron Brate. The second I heard O.J. Howard was out, the moment I heard it, I put a claim in for Brate, and Bud and everybody else only let me get him. So. Do we have a call? We have a call. Someone's calling in?
So
I read these
phone.
people in Connecticut. I have no idea who they are.
Someone wants to call in.
It was Todd Bowles defending himself.
I don't think Todd Bowles lives in Meriden.
Okay. So there's one open playoff spot in the AFC, and there's like one or two. Is there two in? I guess there's two in the NFC. The NFC East crown, and then one of the wild cards, right? A lot of these spots are pretty much locked up. What do you guys take on this final 5 weeks? Because some of these teams don't have a lot to play for outside. I guess they're playing for number one seeding, home field advantage, but.
Right now, if the playoffs started, there'd be two teams from the NFC East in the playoffs. It'd be the Redskins and the Cowboys if they ended today.
The Redskins hold the tiebreaker over Seattle?
Yes.
Wow.
They showed it last night during Monday Night Football.
But what about the Vikings?
They're leading the division, aren't they?
No, the Bears are, right?
Oh, they must be the other wild card then.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I just remember seeing that Washington was in with Dallas. Obviously, we still have 5 weeks left, and it's not gonna.
So Green Bay's out, right? Green Bay's done. Like, are we eliminating?
Well, if you ask Aaron Rodgers, he was going through the schedule, and he's like, "Well, I think we can win all these games."
Aaron Rodgers, maybe it's just a perceptional thing. He seems a bit douchey.
Oh yeah.
When he's on the field, right? When he everything is always. It looks like everything's always somebody else's fault, not his, right? He made some bad passes on Monday or Sunday night, and every time he was like yelling at somebody. Like,
do you know anything about his personal life?
I know about his personal life. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I've been told a bit about it, and I guess his family is from Paradise, California, and his brother called him out on Twitter for not even showing up. This is the town that literally burned to the ground, and like he didn't even. I think he's like estranged from his family, but he didn't even reach out to them. His brother called him out on Twitter being like, "You're a bad person for not even acknowledging the fact that what happened to your family." So I think you hit the nail on the head with the douchiness.
Well, his brother was the one that was on that season of The Bachelor like a couple of years ago too, and they brought it up, and it was squashed very quickly.
Oh yeah,
because he had nothing to do with it. What?
You watch The Bachelor, don't you, Phil?
No, I don't watch The Bachelor. I just know. I know my pop culture, so.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid some of this trivia.
Yeah, I'm not in a little silo here. I expand very much.
So the ESPN did a thing about coaches that might like open big jobs at the end of the season, and they threw the Seattle Seahawks on there. But I actually think Pete Carroll might take this team to the playoffs again.
I hope not, because I got the Seattle Seahawks under 8 wins, so I'm hoping that they don't.
Oh, well. I don't know about that. They always
have the benefit of they do have the benefit of a semi easier schedule, and they get to play in a division with the Niners and the Cardinals. So
it's been 3 years running that I thought that they would fall down a notch, and they pull 9 wins out of every single year. It's crazy. I don't know. They're my pick for the final wild card spot at this point. I just feel like they pull it out.
They should not. Carolina should have won that game the other day. There's no reason Carolina should have lost that game. Christian McCaffrey had like 400 yards of total offense or whatever it was.
Carolina looks like they're going to lose every game the rest of the season. I don't know what's up with them.
Remember, we sat here a couple weeks ago and said Carolina's 6-2. What are they, like 6-5 now? 6-4, whatever it is. I mean, we said it's a quiet 6-2. Well, it's quiet because now look at it.
I mean, they needed a miracle to beat the Giants. The Giants must have lost.
Get me started with that. We're going to pass.
So, okay, so go back. How many times did the Giants lose by 3 or fewer points this season?
Pass. We're not going to get into it.
Okay. So, final AFC wildcard spot then. You guys have a favorite? I mean, it's like there's 6 teams with 6-5 or 5-6 right now. Everything else.
There's so many games left too.
I wouldn't sleep on Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota's offense has the potential of going out and being big. And I think, they said it the other night too. The team seems a little different when Latavius Murray's in the backfield.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it seem that way a little bit, right? I just don't know. And thankfully for me, I have Diggs and Thielen in my fantasy league.
I got Diggs too. He's been money. Well, we have like the same team, except I'm doing better.
I picked up. We've talked to. That's not nice. I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
So everyone ripped me for drafting Diggs and Thielen.
And now he's sitting as the third seed in the playoffs.
It seems to be working out for me pretty well.
Okay, so we're comparable. I beat the.
I'm only the third seed because it has to be the division.
So we don't have any divisions. It's just the top 4 teams make it. So I
happen to play in a division with Phil, and Phil is 10-2.
Double digits this week. Double digits.
What am I, Phil? 9-4?
8-4.
Yeah, that's for me. I only got 8-4. Okay, so we're on par.
He's playing for second place, Dan. Playing for second place.
Well, you get the playoffs, so everything resets. So we got, I don't know. We got 2 more weeks of our regular season. I don't know how about you guys, but
we have one. Next week's the last week of the regular season. Because then we got 3 weeks of playoffs.
Oh, 3 weeks. Okay. Well, cool. So then this is a do or die for your league. That's fun. That's what's made this season bearable for me is my fantasy team's doing well.
That's what I said to Bud a couple weeks ago. I said, thank God for fantasy because at least we have something to root for on these Sundays because it's.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are aware, but my brother literally crushes fantasy sports like every single season. We play baseball and football together. This year, he finished in the dead middle of baseball, and he is dead last in football. It is like it's a miracle. Like it's just,
you're like finally. It's like liberation, right?
It finally came. He had his comeuppance because like he must have won our baseball league 5 years in a row. Something crazy like.
He's one of those analytical guys, right? He goes by the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Billy Bean tried that. It didn't work out for him.
No, he's dead last though. So he
out of him though.
What?
They made a movie for him.
That's true.
And the Oakland Athletics made the playoffs this season when they really shouldn't have. So
but you got to win. You got to win the chip, or else no one remembers.
Yes, that's true.
You got to win the chip.
What do you even say?
You never heard that expression before?
No. So shorthand.
I'm not into the pop culture like you, Phil. I'm very narrow-minded.
Yeah, I know. You're in your little silo over there.
So his team has won a few of these chips. So that's how he knows the lingo.
One day, Bud will win a championship. It's not going to be this year. I'm sorry.
So we were
real quick. Dan, how great would it be if I upset you? Because honestly, I'm the only team that is somewhat even competitive against your team.
So will you guys be facing off in the playoffs?
Standing in your way.
The only way Bud's going to beat me is in the finals. So that'll be the only matchup.
I really hope that happens because it'll be exciting.
We're like 4 weeks away from that. So we'll definitely, if that happens, we'll talk about it.
Do you have 2 weeks per playoff? Oh, you have 3 weeks of playoffs. So 3 rounds. You got a big league?
3 rounds.
Okay.
I have a comfortable first round bye, so I'm gonna ease into the second round.
Wait, how many teams are you playing with? 12? 14?
10.
Oh, just 10?
It keeps it interesting.
But everyone makes the playoffs.
Well, 6. That's a lot of teams in the playoffs.
I know, but at $100 a pop, you want everyone to stay interested.
Okay.
You don't want the last place guy giving up in week 7.
I don't remember what our buy-in is, but it's not that much. So we put a penalty for the last two teams in our league, 9th and 10th, get penalized next year in auction dollars. So that's how we kept our league competitive.
That makes sense.
We tried to come up with something this year about the loser has to run a 40-yard dash. So we'll see if that even happens.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not going to happen, but it's a good in theory. But
yeah, I mean it's not really that far. And
I know, and we're all out of shape.
Yeah, running's a subjective term though. So.
It would be interesting, but I don't think it's going to happen. But so we'll see in 4 weeks if we meet for all the glory.
Okay.
Luckily, we'll still be doing this because the NFL season will still be going on.
Yes, very much so.
So we're rooting for the Cowboys to lose. We're rooting for the Eagles to beat the Redskins. And I guess we have to root for the Giants to beat the Bears, even though it's probably not going to happen.
No.
They lose this week. If they lose this week, if they lose this week, you can officially stick a fork in because they'll be essentially mathematically eliminated almost.
You're hoping you're hoping Mitch Trubisky's not back from his injury because they were not the same team with him on the sidelines.
But their defense played well enough with Chase Daniels that it didn't really matter. And it doesn't really matter if they play Detroit or not. Detroit is not very good, but Chicago's defense is the real deal, regardless of who their quarterback is going to be. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and the defense pulled out that pick six at the end of the game. That's how they won. So, I mean, you'd have to think the way the Giants' offense is playing versus how the Bears' defense is playing. Giants' offense is not going to be able to maintain any kind of stability on that.
No, I doubt it. I was just
maybe whatever their weakness is in the Bears' defense, maybe they'll exploit it this time. Run away from Khalil Mack. That's what
you Jets have to play Tennessee, right?
Yeah, Jets are playing Tennessee. Dude, Tennessee is just – I don't know what the hell – I told Bud the line today. Did you see what the line was, Dan?
Oh, I think I saw in your text. It was something.
Yeah, that's right. I texted. 9.5. That's incredible. Did you see the Titans play last night?
Yeah, so that's
all because – 9.5 points to anybody.
It's all because the Titans beat the Patriots easily.
That was 3 weeks ago, though.
I know. The Titans are an enigma. I mean, they're not a very good football team, but they managed to look good once in a blue moon.
Is this a home game for the Jets?
I don't remember.
It's away.
Honestly, dude, watch that football game on Sunday. Everyone in there was Patriots fans.
Oh, yeah.
The only Jets there are the ones that suffer that have to pay $25,000 a seat that they have to go.
So that brought up a good point because that was all Patriots fans, right? We were getting on the LA Chargers for not filling their stadium, and I thought that they had a good crowd this last game of actual Chargers fans.
Chargers are a good football team. I wouldn't sleep on them. Phillip Rivers had one incompletion. Thank God I started him in fantasy and not Carson Wentz again.
Well, I got him too. We have the exact same football team.
Are you guys like sharing like your statistics, your players back and forth? I got collusion over here. What's going on?
Collusion. All right. Cool.
And the Chargers do get Joey Bosa back too. So
yeah. No, I'm excited for them. I hope they're not like a team without a city next year because I kind of like them in Los Angeles, but we'll see.
They'll go somewhere.
Yeah.
They're gonna end up with the Rams in the end. I think they're gonna end up with that new stadium in Carson, just like the Jets and Giants share a stadium. Those two teams can share a stadium.
That stadium is technically in Los Angeles, so we'll be good to.
That's perfect for you. I can just imagine what the PSLs are going to be for those seats. The very last row is going to be $2,000 a PSL.
One of my friends bought season tickets to the Rams for starting next season, and he didn't give off the impression that it was too high. Now, maybe I'm not sure what seats he got.
Is that stadium going to be ready next year or the year after?
Opens next year. Yeah.
We got to go out to California.
It's a long flight, dude.
Everything around it is still basically a hole. You really watch you watch the televised things. They're going to be super close in the stadium and then big out on the city because it is a wasteland around the stadium right now. It's just empty lots everywhere.
Isn't it like MetLife? Like Inglewood, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Carson.
That's not like the.
No, it's in Inglewood. Right? The Chargers are playing in Carson at the StubHub Center, home of the LA Galaxy right now. They're playing in the soccer stadium. It's not great.
Wait, aren't the Warriors moving to Carson? They're moving somewhere else. They're not. They're out of Golden State next year.
I don't think they move all the way down the coast. I thought they were staying in this Bay Area.
I think they're moving to San Francisco though.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think they're moving across the bridge. That's what I think. I know that this is the last year. Yeah, this is the last year in that stadium.
Oakland's losing all their teams basically. They'll only have the Athletics left.
And they're barely there too. They're baseball. Well, we're not. We're a football show.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sorry. All right.
So quick. Did the Jets win this week or not? I think they at least cover the 9.5.
No.
I think they cover.
I think they cover too.
No.
I won't touch it. This week, I promise you, I will not touch it.
I think that this is going to be one or no.
If Mariota plays, I would be hesitant to pick. I would be hesitant to back the Jets.
Why wouldn't he play?
He's been in and out like constantly.
Yeah, he played last week. He did fine. Listen, Jets are going to get smoked.
Mariota has the best mustache in the entire league, as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's a better question. Do the Jets end up with the number 1 pick at the end of the season?
No, because Oakland's worse than them.
But Oakland.
They're going to end up with the 3rd pick in the draft. You got Arizona and Oakland that are worse than them.
Oakland plays the Chiefs this week. That's a loss.
Oh, yeah. Arizona could win another game. I could easily see these teams losing. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways.
The Jets have a real shot. I'm telling you, the Jets have a real shot at going 3-13. Buffalo won again.
Yeah.
They're a different team with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from the game this week. I took your advice against the Patriots, cashed out. I'm done. I'm done with the Jets for the year. I'm good. So
yeah, good.
Before we get cut off, I want to make sure I say that I think we're gonna lose to the Bears and the season's done.
All right. Well, next week we will do an end of the season celebration for our 2 football teams. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll be back. We'll talk less and less about the Jets and Giants as their seasons end. All right. Peace.